please call the roll.
Taylor,
Here.
Long,
Here.
Powell,
Here.
Smith Charles, Erickson Galt.
Here.
Spiz,
All right. Please.
okay,
Somewhere.
Woodward,
Here.
Markham.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, next up, we have our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have approval of the previous minutes. I'll take a motion. Commissioner Long, supported by Commissioner Taylor. All in favor of approving the previous minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Then we come to approval of today's agenda. Moved by Commissioner Taylor, supported by Commissioner Powell. Any additions, subtractions, or deletions? All in favor of approving today's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, today's agenda is approved. Next, we have our first public comment. For anyone from the public who wishes to speak on any of our agenda items today, you'll have 3 minutes. Is there anyone who cares to speak to the committee at this time?
Full room and no.
Seeing no one, I will close our first public comment and move on to. I'm sorry, what?
That's just the first one.
It's just the first one, correct. So we move on to item 7. I'll take a motion to receive and file our communications, moved by Commissioner Powell, supported by Commissioner Long. Anybody have any comments or questions, or would you like any discussion on these items? Seeing none, would you please prompt the vote on receive and file the communications?
Woodward,
Yes.
we have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, motion carries. That moves us on to our departmental recommendations. First up is item 8A, the amendment to the 2025 apportionment of local tax rates. Moved by Commissioner Spiz, supported by Commissioner Taylor. I saw
Michael, are you gonna?
Michael over there. Good morning. Please introduce yourself and your team.
Good morning, Chair Markham, members of Finance Committee. For the record, I'm Michael Lohmeyer, Equalization Officer. I have Leslie Cooper and Shannon Moore, both members of my staff, and both have worked with me on this report. If you remember, I was with you back on October 22nd when I presented the 2025 apportionment report. We're with you today because we had a general election back on November 4th. And if you remember, we had I had mentioned we had a proposed rate that could be elected for the one. There were 3 proposed rates. 2 were in Oxford schools; those didn't pass. But we did have Milford Township for senior services that did pass. All the other rates that in the apportionment report were already approved. The Milford Senior Services rate was the only one that did get voted in back on November 4th. That's the only one that has been changed and added to the submitted 2025 apportionment report. So I come before you with an amended report for you with that one change. So I stand ready to answer any questions you have, and so does my staff. But that's the only change we have to this report today.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Seeing none, let's go ahead and prompt the vote.
Woodward,
Yes.
we have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll add this to our website when everybody have access to it.
Okay. Next, we have item 8B, the amendment to the Comprehensive Information Technology Service Agreement. by Commissioner Spiz, supported by Commissioner Powell. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kim Orango, the Director of Application and Client Services in the Information Technology Group. I am here today to ask for a resolution to make an adjustment to the Comprehensive Information Technology Service Agreement. There are 2 exhibits that we would like removed from the agreement. The first is the CLEMIS because of the authority being formed and no longer be part of the IT department. And the second is the pictometry licensed products. We are ending the contract with one vendor and have a second vendor in place. Sanborn is the new vendor and that service is now available as the replacement. So that's why we want to go ahead and make those changes there. And then additionally, we have some language that we would like to change in section 2.7 of the agreement to make it easier in terms of communications going forward on some of the technology. Any questions?
Commissioner Spiz, followed by
Thank you,
Commissioner
Madam Chair.
Powell.
Not that I disagree with removing Clemis, but is the timing the right timing? Because we haven't really moved them out yet, have we? Because there's a
So-
transition plan, so does it fit the proper timing is my only concern.
So the reason we're asking for it now is there is a new interlocal agreement that is CLEMIS specific that has been put out there for the agencies, and so we don't need 2 potentially in conflict with one another. That's why we're removing this.
Say that again.
So there's a different CLEMIS interlocal agreement, and so we're removing this clause from the standard IT one because that other agreement exists.
Commissioner,
We-
on
two-
this,
On this thing too,
Yeah,
right, so
explain.
the authority, so the Clemis Authority has been set up.
Mhm.
All the communities that work with Clemis are gonna have an agreement with them,
We're going to have.
that would, well, by the end of this year. So it's like, otherwise it would be redundant, and it's actually, IT won't have an agreement with Clemis.
It's from this point
So
forward.
it's for future
Yeah.
agreements going forward.
It's a future agreement, so.
Right, so
Oh,
all of your existing agreements that have Clemis, we're not going back and changing it. We're updating the interlocal agreement for any future agreements that we sign
I'm good.
going
Thank you.
forward.
Sorry.
So that's the
With
one
that.
thing.
That's clear. Thank you very much.
these are good questions. Commissioner Powell.
and then what is this, what is their function, the
Big time.
pictometry license, probably,
Sure.
what does that, like, what
Sure,
is that?
so that is the aerial
Oh, okay.
land view and we just have a different product we're using for that.
Oh, okay, thank you, see, I'm trying to learn.
Any other questions or concerns? All right, well, if seeing none, let's prompt the vote. Woodward?
Yes.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes.
Moving right along, item
They don't wanna vote.
C. Exception to the purchasing policy, single source purchase of DataWorks Plus mobile fingerprint identification devices for the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. Moved by Commissioner Powell, supported by Commissioner Spiz.
Looking for a trifecta.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. So what we've brought before you is an exception to the procurement policy. DataWorks Plus is a fingerprint technology that's moved into the Michigan State Police. This is a license agreement that will extend out to 2028. This agreement did start in 2019, and so it extends past the 5-year term. And it is a needed technology.
Yeah, Captain Schneider with the Sheriff's Office. So the device is a modified Android device, and generally we use it if you're on the road and you have somebody who's unconscious or someone who's deceased and you don't know who they are, you can put their finger on there. If they've been in the system before, it'll come back and tell you who they are. But we do that in conjunction with the medical examiner and others. We have the devices are functioning fine, they're still early in their lifespan. However, this is the licensing agreement that allows you to utilize them and use the portal. When it comes back, gives you the hit, tells you who they are, et cetera. It's exclusive to the Michigan State Police. This is the only device the Michigan State Police allow you to use, so we can't even go out for bid on a different device. And you must have the license for the device to function.
Any questions? Commissioner Spiz?
Yeah, not necessarily a question, I brought this last time when an exception came in front of us, and I see we have 4 of them today. And it's usually a unique situation for something like this, and I think the other one was Civic Plus that we use here at the Board of Commissioners, and I'm sure these other 4 or 3 will also be unique situations. I'm just wondering if there's a different process maybe, Mr. Chair, we can talk about this versus having to come in from an exception perspective, because these are unique situations. And do we really need to come to the Board of Commissioners every time for an exception?
Yes, that's the process.
I know it's the current process.
If you're gonna go around the process, you have to have board approval.
I know it's a current process.
We wanted to come before us.
I'm a process guy, you guys all know that, but there are situations where, you know, to make us more efficient, instead of taking up your time, our time, to do something like that, so we know it's a unique situation, maybe there's a different process we can come up with to make it more efficient and effective for all of us. Just me.
We can always,
I'm supportive.
I've never
Duly
heard Commissioner Spiz advocate for going around the
Right.
process.
Well, no, I'm not saying going around a process, I'm saying create a
Shorten it.
different process
want
that
to
is
shorten it.
shorter,
No,
more
it's fine.
effective.
I mean, I think we could look, I mean, this policy has been practiced for the 20 years that I've been on the board.
Agree, but that doesn't make any sense, right? I'm just saying.
It's-
Well, okay.
Mark this one down, special day.
Let's note it.
That's Mr. Spiz.
Right.
Also, Madam Chair, if it weren't sheriff, if it was like something else, would you?
Would it be the sign?
Oh.
Same.
Oh,
Depending on
That's
the
for another time in another place.
No starting fights before noon. Yeah.
Good question.
I just wanna say that I'm here for you. Whatever you need,
Well, you need me to.
whatever you need, just follow the process, let me know. And I'll be here.
Fun in finance.
I will be here.
All right. Let's
My
prompt
middle name is
Does
transparency.
anybody else have any other comments or questions? All right, let's prompt the vote, please.
Woodward?
Yes.
Quarter to noon.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
If in the afternoon we can fight.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next up is item 8D, exception to the purchasing policy, cooperative purchase of OpenGov strategic sourcing platform for management and budget procurement division.
I think you.
Good morning, everyone. What I have
Yeah,
brought.
before you go, I need a motion. Commissioner Smith Charles, Commissioner Spiz.
I think.
What I've brought before you is the request to purchase two modules that will bring a strategic sourcing module, platform that will be tied into Workday, as well as a contract lifecycle management tool that will be brought into Workday as well. Workday has or is sunsetting our external portal, the technology that our suppliers use to register within counties, our platforms. And so their recommendation was to purchase their strategic sourcing platform. So working with IT, procurement went through and vetted out that process. Then we also looked to see what other solutions were out there. OpenGov is a technology that was created by an agency that was made up of former governmental employees. They built a technology that is for use solely for government. So unlike Workday, which is a great tool, but it was designed to work in the private sector, there are some configurations and some issues with the public sector. This technology is built directly for the public sector. I did provide a presentation that mapped through what our current process is, but essentially we have an extremely manual procurement process today that has 10 steps between 5 platforms, and none of the platforms are integrated. And so when a department puts a request into Workday, it's taken out of Workday, put into Office 365 to have, yep, if you could go,
There should be the clicker down there somewhere.
No.
No?
no, I wanna be mindful of time, so I'll fast forward. Keep going to this one right here. So, do you mind if I stand up?
Yeah,
Please. Great. So, a department will enter a request into Workday. It's taken out of Workday, put into Office 365 for that request to be put into our templates. Those templates then are manually uploaded into BidNet Direct. BidNet Direct is where the solicitation happens. The results or the bids come back. They're exported out of BidNet Direct and then put into Office 365 again for us to create evaluations.
Is that automatic or manual?
All manual. Every single one of these steps is manual. Once we go through the evaluation and make a determination for a recommendation for award, it goes into L-Forms, which is our matter management tool for Corporation Counsel in order for them to start working on the contract. Once the contract is created, it is then put back into Office 365 for a manual, for negotiation of the process. Then, once the contract is finalized, a department has to go back into Workday to enter a new contract request because these two parts of the system don't talk to each other. So a brand new request is created, goes into Adobe Sign for e-signature, goes back into Office 365 for distribution, and then back and uploaded into Workday. Every single one of these steps is done manually. If you flip to the next page. Oh, great, thank you
It's
so
all
much.
on you now.
All right.
Oh, now this, oh, that's what we're going to.
It's a manual operation. We are been working with Workday. It'll be 3 systems. 2 of the systems will be integrated. Departments will still use Workday because this is our financial system. A requisition request will go in. It'll get pushed into OpenGov. The templates are in OpenGov, so we create the solicitations within the platform. It goes out to bid. It's a public-facing, much like BidNet Direct platform. This also for external suppliers to register, it's free. Whereas BidNet Direct, it's about $350 to $600 a year for any outside company to use that platform. This is free. The evaluation templates are all within OpenGov, so you'll get to the contract, tentative contract award within the same system. It's FOIA friendly, it's designed to be FOIA friendly because it's designed for government. Then it will be pushed out into L-Forms for, again, the attorneys to start their matter management on creating the contract, but then it can go back into OpenGov, into the contract lifecycle management system for it to be negotiated and executed because DocuSign is native to this product and is part of the license. And then it would get pushed back out to Workday for a purchase order, and then that's where the financials and these two will talk. This is gonna be our future contract repository, and the financials will remain within Workday.
Much better.
Commissioner Powell.
So that's the
This would be
current
the
process,
future.
so this would be the future one?
This would be the future state.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
This is
That's too
current.
That's
much.
crazy.
That's too much.
This is one of the reasons why it takes so long for procurements to happen. There's one other quick thing I wanna show you. Right now, and this is part of the redesign that we're going through, knowing we've got these capital improvement projects coming in, trying to get the technology going. We're also looking at our staff and how they're managed, right? You have 5 buyers right now that account for 80% of all solicitations that come in. They face the departments, right? By procurement compliance specialists, those are back office. We had a chief of purchasing position, we have the manager and myself. We account for another 15% of those procurements. It's, there are 11 FTEs right now. This year, I got 1 more FTE, and we've created a new position, which is a strategic sourcing agent. So what we've done is, before you had 5 people essentially that were working on most of the solicitations. Right now, we're reconfiguring it so you're gonna have 9. procurement specialists, instead of them being back office, they're gonna be doing small procurements. And that gives them the ability then, if they advance up into procurement agent, they've got the process and understand how to do small procurements. Procurement agents will be the bulk of our business, responsible for procurements 25,000 and up. And then these strategic sourcing agents are really gonna be focusing on the complex solicitations, your construction procurements, you know, HR benefits, those things that are really, you know, they take a lot of time and you want someone that can focus on it. And so, you know, in conjunction with this request for OpenGov, really trying to bring procurement into a much more user-friendly, much more efficient, much more transparent process.
Commissioner Spitz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is great, changing the process and simplifying it, make it more streamlined. My big question is, why the exception? Is that because OpenGov's the only source out there that can meet your criteria and there's nobody else that can do it?
It's purchased through it's purchased through a cooperative, but I needed to move monies. So there was a financial piece to this where we're reassigning some funds within M&B to pay for this technology. And so that's the request, is really for the appropriation of the funds, or reappropriation of the funds.
So that requires an exception?
It
It's
should
labeled as an exception, isn't it?
Just
Exception
like
to
an
purchasing
amendment,
policy.
ain't
Whoever purchased the strategy is sourcing budget. It does say exception, that's why I meant, it doesn't sound like an exception, it
Yeah,
sounds like.
I didn't fill out an exception report for it, so maybe it was mislabeled.
Okay.
Or-
Bro.
So it's not an exception, it's,
it? He said it's gone. It's gone.
it's gone, okay.
It's gone.
Too many exceptions, I guess.
Then I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Long, did you have a question?
Yes, I
Or
do. Just,
Commissioner Spitz, are you?
I'm done, thank you.
oh yeah, thank you. So I just have one question. I think this is a much better system, but all that other stuff was entered manually.
Mhm.
So I know he's gonna get mad at me asking
Not
this.
for me.
And so why do we need another employee? I thought we were gonna go to a screen with less employees with all that manual going away. All that manual entering going away, like with these steps, and then we're adding an employee, which to me, this new system's so much more efficient. That I'm just wondering what, I think you touched on what the employee is going to do, but I thought I was gonna see a screen that said, or a slide saying one less employee or two less employees from that manual entering.
We have capital improvement plans that are coming down the pipeline, which is gonna really expand the work that we've got going on. And I mean, we're barely keeping up as it is, so, you know, it perhaps down the road, there may be other efficiencies, but really, we've got to stabilize the organization and really see where we're at. And right now, you know, it's gonna take us some time to get this implemented. It's a 6-month process to get that stood up.
Caught up.
Yep, we've got 4 months worth of training during that implementation, so the end users, procurement, as well as the supporting agencies such as IT, such as Corporation Counsel, you know, they'll have the training and the materials for us to move forward.
Okay, thank you. And then did you say they were, all of them were full-time or some of them were part-time?
No, they're all full-time.
They're all full-time, okay, thank you.
So when we do
I'll just keep my
2027
eye on
budget.
those. Sometime when we get efficient with the decrease, we should be able to catch up at some point, I would think.
We need everybody in this
Yeah,
department.
thank you.
Anybody else have
Figure it out.
questions or comments?
Huh?
Seeing none, let's prompt the vote on item 8D.
Woodward?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 more exceptions. 3.
Okay, motion carries. Next up, we have item
Number exception.
8E. Oh my gosh, I just keep messing my thing up. Exception to
Yep.
purchasing policy, contract extension for Tyler Technologies jury management system. Moved by Commissioner Powell, supported by Commissioner Taylor.
So the
That's good.
There was a resolution back in 2022 that would take the Tyler technology out to 2028. However, the courts have requested to extend it out even further to 2030. This is, again, the technology that they use to manage the payments for the jurors. It's been around since 2017. As Tyler Technology has made advances, they've been a great partner with the county. I know that the courts, Third Circuit Court utilizes them as well. So there are many courts throughout the state that use this technology, and it is really in the court's best interest for us to get those additional 2 years on top of where they are right now.
I'm here,
Right,
yeah.
yes, sir.
Sorry, it's just such a full room and I was in the other room. Chris Bujek from Circuit Court and Probate Court. What we have found is Tyler has come up with some advances in their system that we really want to take advantage of, and they're saving money for the treasurers, or will save money for the treasurers, get our jurors paid faster, and help make our operation more efficient by improving the reporting processes that we need. So we very much want to move to their latest, greatest SaaS platform, which also improves security, does several things for us. But we want to sign the 5-year agreement with them because it does offer the greatest savings for the county. It makes it a much more affordable option by doing that.
Any questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Spiz.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Robot Arm.
Yeah, sorry. I know it's an exception, but in this case, what would it take if we decided to go a different direction?
If we decided to put this out for bid, because it is, we can renew up to 27, and we would be paying more per year until 27. We could put it out for bid. It would mean that we would have to change integrations. We would have to have expense in just the setup of the system. If we decided, even if we selected a different vendor, there are some different jury vendors. We've looked at them in the past. In 2017, we did a full bid and we looked at multiple systems. We are very pleased with Tyler, and if we put it out for bid, I'm not sure that they wouldn't be selected again because they do have a leading product in the marketplace.
Thank you for the answer. One reason I asked that, because going back to my first question for exceptions, there's a lot of times when a lot of softwares that we use as the county are integral to what we do every day. And to make a change is not just purchasing X software, right? It's the integration, it's upgrade to some of the hardware we may have to use. It's a whole bunch of different things that come into play that'll drive up that cost. So like Workday, for example, what did it take for us to implement Workday when we switched? It's like, holy crap, that was a lot of work, right? It's years of work.
Yeah.
So now, let's say tomorrow, we limited our software license was, Workday is up. Said, okay, let's go a different direction. It's like, holy crap, why would we do that? You have to go out for bid, you have to do this. So why wouldn't we not streamline that exception process? Because we know it's a Herculean effort to make a change to something like that.
We also, for the jury system, remember that every person who gets summoned to jury service in Oakland County already has interacted with this system, and so they have like an ID number that they can reuse, and many of them have reused them multiple times over the year. It means retraining our public too in the system that we use.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Commissioner Smith Charles.
I believe Commissioner Spiz alluded to my question, but I just wanted to hear it from you in a concise way. Is Tyler a monopoly?
There are other there are other vendors that do have jury management systems. We looked at several when we selected Tyler. No one had the same level of maturity in their system as Tyler. They are definitely a large vendor in this space.
Thank you. I have a little bit of a like sibling rivalry, if you will, with Tyler. I don't wanna give him too much money, but in this, it sounds like we're kinda in a situation where we kinda need it. And they did give us some nice socks at NACO one time. I might. But it sounds like this is where we are for now.
Yeah.
When we selected Tyler, we actually selected Courthouse Technologies, which was purchased by Tyler. Yeah, that's kind of the
See,
Tyler
they're a
way, right?
blob.
Tyler does buy up their competition
They
when
might
they're too big,
not, they might
so,
not be a monopoly, but they're like Amazon.
yeah.
Or Google.
Okay.
Or Google.
And they
Probably
do have
Google's
a
probably
leading
better.
product in the space, and we are very happy with the product that we're using.
Okay, that's all I have to, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Let's prompt the vote on item 8. Woodward?
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. All right, next is item 8F, exception to purchasing policy, contract amendment for Granicus GovQA FOIA management system. Moved by Commissioner Smith, Harrison Galt, and supported by Commissioner Smith Charles. We have our legal counsel with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Aaron Thomas, Deputy Corporation Counsel.
Aaron Wagner, Chief Procurement Officer.
So what you have before you is the exception report for the Granicus or GovQA system. Much like what Ms. Bujak talked about with respect to the system for the courts. For GovQA, it is public facing. It has been in use by the county at least for the 4 years I've been here. I'm not sure what system Oakland County may have had before, but I can tell you that I know that counties around Oakland have moved toward this particular system. We are asking for that the contract for this particular system be renewed. We're very happy with the product. We were able to negotiate some price breaks with them, and so we're asking that this be moved forward.
Commissioner Powell.
How many years is this one?
How many years?
How many years are we extending it or renewing?
I think this is renewal,
Is that?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years,
Okay.
5 years, yes.
I didn't see it.
Right.
Oh, it's on the other one. Okay, I was looking at the number. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Smith Charles, followed by Commissioner Woodward.
Just attended the IT standing committee yesterday through NACO or Monday, and we meet monthly and they share best practices in all things IT, and they talked about our current world we live in where, sometimes you hire AI-based companies and sometimes you don't, and just the interconnectivity here. Obviously, I'm not talking to our tech people unless you just happen to have some of that extra insight, but I know, I see them over there.
They're here, sir.
They're here. I'm just curious, do we, if it's a policy, if it's a practice in terms of how systems communicate with one another, in terms of malware and other ne'er-do-wells out there in the world, is that something that you check off in every tech purchase systems type of thing?
Do you want me to help?
Yeah.
So anytime that we do a product purchase, we do go through a tech review. So any RFP that we're gonna do, we have requirements around security that must be met in order to facilitate minimum requirements to even be evaluated. And then once we actually select any vendor, we take them through an extensive tech review that includes security. And then obviously, once that vendor product is in, we have security practices and monitoring software that remains in place throughout the partnership.
Okay, great, thank you.
Commissioner Woodward.
Yeah, and since we're getting into the weeds and our procurement and exception and everything, I'm gonna guess that this is before us because our normal contracting practices is like a 5-year plan, 3 years with 2 1-year optional, and at which point then you need to go out to bid as our standard quarter practice. To Commissioner Spitz's earlier comment, it might not make sense, why waste the time? This is where we're gonna be if we can get favorable terms. I still would say this is the way to get around that process and that it's been vetted fully and it's not a single individual making that determination that we are. And so that's why this exception is before us.
Okay. Anybody else? Let's prompt the vote. These are easy.
Yes.
Thank you. I never came up on that. All right, motion carries. Next, we have item 8H, which is FY,
This one,
G.
oh, G, right.
another exception.
Exception, another exception.
Yeah, the last
To the
exception.
purchasing policy. Well, I saw Aaron sitting at that and I thought, I must. Single source purchase of air traffic solutions, traffic data and device management system for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell. Okay.
Yep, Captain Schneider with the Sheriff's Office. So these are the smart cards that you see occasionally in different locations. They not only provide the speed as necessary, but they also can be tasked with saying different messages if there's things going on that are important or if there's a hazard or whatever, we can do that as well. So they're actually kind of not just your regular old smart card, they're pretty techy. And this is the management of the software, the licensing of it, all the other stuff that goes along with it, the portal, how you control the signs and all that stuff. So it's not the devices themselves, those have been purchased and those are still under normal contract. It's just the control of that whole process.
Commissioner Smith Charles.
Yeah, thanks. So in economic development infrastructure, we talked about the press release from RCOC about their traffic, signals, I believe, and how they're doing something different in Oakland County. This is, did you say smart card?
Smart cart.
Cart.
Yeah, so you'll drive down a road and you'll see the little cart there and it'll have the sheriff's star on it and it's saying you're going 48 miles an hour to 25. Not that you would do that.
Flashing light at you.
But,
I like when it says thank you, thank you when you do though.
Yeah. You can also,
Doesn't
you can task it with, you can put words on there as
Oh,
well.
nice.
And you can say a hazard ahead.
Blue or.
Yeah, or whatever, whatever is authorized. But yeah, so you can do all that stuff. So it's more than just the speed, it has the ability to do a lot of other things.
Okay.
And for that, there's a licensing fee and there's the management of the portal that controls it and all that other stuff. And then you can run analytics on it, so you can do all the different stats and show what those numbers are for that particular area. If somebody asked and said, it's been here for a week, what's going on? You could say, well, it's been there for a week, it's 25 miles an hour and, the average speed was 84, something like that.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's very informative, thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing no one, let's prompt the vote.
Police station.
Woodward?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's probably the best way.
Item 8H is the fiscal year 2025 year-end financial report and budget amendments. Ms. Johnson coming to the end of the table. Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell.
All right, come on, Cheryl.
Hi. Deputy CFO. What you have before you is the fourth quarter report that we present every quarter, the budget updates, the actual updates, the forecast. This is the last one of the year. The intent of this report is truly to update the budget, make sure that the budget is finalized. You'll see some changes to actuals going forward, because we're still in the process of closing the fiscal year and making our year-end journal entries. So while these numbers might be close, they're not exactly on. It's a very large report. We've changed a little bit of the format just to make it more to make you more aware of all of the budget changes that are going in through the quarterly amendments. So this is one thing that the budget team and I are gonna be working on going forward, is trying to eliminate departments putting their budget amendments into a quarterly amendment it's hard for you guys to see the real impact of those budget amendments because they don't come out till later. And frankly, it's difficult for us to keep track of them because if it's not worded correctly in the resolution, then we might lose it or forget it and then we have to add it to another quarterly. So for us, I think it's just a future of what you're gonna see as we start to flex this report and change it. I do wanna direct your attention to page 25, that's a summary page that we usually talk about. I think it's page 27 in the PDF, but it's listed as 25 on the bottom. This is the standard summary report that you'll see where we're at in terms of over favorable and unfavorable. Again, as I pointed out, the budget as amended column, which is the column 7, is the final budget amendments that you'll see. And then the actuals are kind of where we're at right now. Brett and I have discussed making those actuals as of a particular date so that it's really clear that this is where we're at. Because we can, the struggle that we have from fiscal is today's December 3rd. And we have until November 30th to make our revenue entries, like we can claim property tax revenue that's received all the way through November 30th. So when we're trying to put this report together for the 2nd and 2 weeks before that, we don't have all the data. So we're talking about using a cutoff date so that everyone is aware. The actuals that you see in here are as of a certain date, but we're still working on those year-end adjustments that we do as we prepare for the auditors when the auditors come out in the first part of January. You'll see the impact on fund balance is approximately $21 million. And that is pretty close. Our fund balance is going from 291 to 270 at this point. Just again, preliminarily as we're going through and making our adjustments. We still have some reports we're waiting for from actuaries to make some additional amendments, but this is all in line and I will address any questions that you guys all have.
Okay. Commissioner Woodward.
So as I understand it, I realize that the exact number, but in terms of like overall favorability, where is that number? I mean, I see it like by department, but is there an aggregate? Or is it at the top of that summary page?
The overall favorability, it's broken out between the revenues and the expenditures. So you'll see that like about a third of the way down, total general fund, GFGP.
33. 33 is PDF.
Page?
He's doing this and I need him to get a page number. He's just going like this, I'm like, what page, Cheryl, what page?
It's 25 on the physical page number, but it's 33.
33 for the
33
PDF.
bottom line item, yeah.
Foul, keep up.
I'm just trying to help you out.
I know.
You was scrolling like, where is it?
Let me know when you get that.
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Okay, so you'll see the revenues, the favorability, is the total, general fund, general purpose, the 41 million. And then you'll see, at the bottom, you'll see the, expenditure, total governmental expenditures, 20 million favorability. And I'm sorry, I misspoke when I said 41 million favorability, that is
Unfavorable.
unfavorable. So that's where you get the 21 million coming out of fund balance.
Yeah.
And those are, I mean, those are a combination of budget amendments that we make throughout the year and things like that. The money that we've taken out of the strategic investment and moved into project funds, that's kind of what all that is. And when we get to that point and I'm giving you guys a final audit, I will be able to give you a breakdown of where those funds went and what they were spent on.
Let me just say that we did move the general fund to the strategic initiative
Yes.
for the Pontiac project,
Yes.
which would then be reimbursed by bond proceeds, so.
Right.
This is the year of cash flow transition.
Exactly. And you'll see that, cause it hasn't all been spent. So when you look at the financial statements, you won't see it in the general fund, what we set aside for the strategic investment. You're gonna see it in the reserves under special revenue, because we've taken it out of general fund and assigned it to these particular projects. So now it's allocated to that until you guys allocate it back.
Gotcha. Commissioner Long, followed by Commissioner Smith Charles.
All right, just so on your, on the resolution, where it says, Health Division, Health and Human Services, write-off of $298,000 is uncollectible. What is that? What is that
So
about?
those are the things that are all the way in the back of this report.
Okay, I
So
couldn't
we are
find them, that's probably
required-
why.
We are required to bring you write-offs. So if you look, for me, it's page 79, it's the very last page of that PDF.
Okay.
It breaks out the resolutions
Find it.
or the resolutions, holy moly.
I know what you
The
mean.
write-offs for July, August, and September. I do not have the specific details of those. I can get those for you.
Well, it's just a lot, so I
It's a
just.
shortcut.
Oh,
Just,
oh, thank you. Oh, so, like, that's page 79, so,
You got it.
now I'm way back.
Under
Well, okay, so if you could get me that, just if it's
Yep.
easy.
And we'll make sure that when
Just a breakdown, cause it's just a lot, so.
when there's
I
big
know.
numbers like that, we'll make sure that
Type
going
79.
forward, we'll have more detail for you. But this is the process for those write-offs every quarter.
Oh, okay, all right, so it's, oh, that's good.
Okay.
So it's not that page, okay. If you could get me that, that'd be great, if it's something easy, thank you.
Commissioner Smith Charles.
Yeah, Cheryl, I just wanted to ask about like you said, the unfavorable of it's basically negative 6.22%. Do you all have a scale of what you like to keep that at? You know, between 5 and 7, or is that high, is that low, is that pretty?
I 6, 7, sorry. Did I do that? He just did that.
Oh,
He
man.
just teed me right up. I think going forward, as we start to look at and solidify our KPIs, and we really start to cleanse what we're doing with the budgets and getting things out of quarterly adjustments, that could potentially be one of our KPIs to keep our forecasts within a percentage of what's going on. 3%, Mr. Spiz is holding up 3 fingers, so
Private sector plus or minus 3.
private sector. So, but we also, I mean, some of this for us is also not necessarily controllable because it's dollars coming from the government shutting down, the government changing their mind, things like that. So those will be in that.
Big projects, little things like
But we will certainly take the 3% under advisement. I like 6, 7, but
Well, just a quick follow-up, which is it possible
I see on Christmas.
to get some pie charts? Like, is that too old school? Like, I just wanna see.
what would you like to see in a pie chart? I mean, just let me
Just
know.
like this last line, you know, visually, so that way I could quickly be like, oh, that's a very small slice of red and a big old slice of green.
She likes graphs.
rubbing off.
I'm a graph person.
Yeah.
You too.
So kind of like where we
That's why
are
she's on
in
this side of
terms
the table.
of
Oh,
actuals
stop that.
and budget and those kinds
You
of things. So
go
we do put all those once we get everything finalized in the ad for at the end of the year. But we definitely will take that in consideration as we revamp this and really just make it a report that's easier for you to digest quicker.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean more pages and more numbers,
Right.
but it means something that's more digestible to you.
Yes, and thank you
So
for
we appreciate that.
the explanations off to the side so that we don't have to call you for every little thing. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing no one, let's prompt the vote.
Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl.
Woodward?
Yes.
I do wanna say, if I may, that I just wanna publicly thank the entire budget team. They've brought some new folks on board, so they've been training people. Year end is very tight for us in terms of getting stuff. They've been working with us and all the changes, and they've been very flexible about putting these things together, as well as trying to make the reports more digestible for you. So I just wanna publicly appreciate Brent and his team. He's been such a great addition to the budget staff that, you know, we're able to just, hey, do this, and he takes care of it, and the whole team is really just following lead. So I wanted to make sure that I publicly address that for Brent and his whole entire team. Thank you.
It's good to hear.
Raising that bar.
Thank you, Cheryl. All right, next we have Oakland County Solarize Initiative Community Renewable Energy Education Program. Moved by Commissioner Woodward, supported by Commissioner Taylor. This is Commissioner Woodward's newest project.
No, I'm extremely excited to ask the committee to consider this partnership with Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association. I think everyone here knows that, I mean, as a county, we've undertaken a lofty goal of reducing carbon emissions by 50% by 2035, and even greater beyond that. As a complex, we've entered into agreements to have most, if not all, of our energy consumption, electric energy consumption provided by solar. And to push the needle a little bit further, it seems appropriate to engage all of Oakland County, all our residents across all of our districts in this effort. And so this kind of calling it the Oakland Solarize Initiative, this is a community engagement that involves bringing experts and solar installers and the community together to not only just learn about the benefits, especially in an age in which the the Inflation Reduction Act generous 30% tax credit comes to an end at the end of this year. How do we continue to help spur efforts to incorporate renewable energy, solar, into people's lives? I mean, full disclosure, I'm a big believer.
You have it on your house?
I have it on my house. It helps charge my car. My electric bills are less than $10 a month as a result, and there are creative ways, and there's partnerships around the state that can, help residents afford this. But I think bringing in partnerships not only, with our local communities and schools, but our residents particularly, and then figuring out ways that through bulk purchasing, we might be able to lower that cost per unit to help accelerate greater and greater adoption. So with that, this proposal basically lays out an opportunity up to 8 community meetings across the county. Very much, we're gonna have our staff work with the Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association that is going to take on the duty of organizing, planning, facilitating, bringing in partnerships and promoting. My hope is that all of us will make ourselves available for those events, and our staff will work with you and work with the Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association to identify ideal locations and times for all of us to be able to participate and be part of these conversations, and then come back to us with a finalized report just summarizing the aggregate outreach and the information that's gathered from it. So without any further ado, I asked the executive director and someone I've known a very long time, John Freeman, who has experience in this, to come here to be able to answer any additional questions or offer any additional information I just didn't present.
No, I think Commissioner Woodward did a great job. We have been developing the Solarize program for the last 3 years. We have been working with the state of Michigan to offer this program, this educational program, to different counties and cities around the state. We've been working in Grand Rapids, we've been working in Kalamazoo, we've been working in Algier County up in the Upper Peninsula, we've been working in Ingham County, and of course, we've been working in Royal Oak here in Oakland County. But we feel this is a great opportunity. This is an educational opportunity. As I'm sure you're well aware of, the cost of electricity has gone up fairly dramatically over the last several years, and there's no end in sight. And so by offering people the opportunity to get solar, it gives people an opportunity to take control of their energy expenditures and to be able to save some money in the long run. But as with any new development, there has to be an educational effort implemented to make people aware of the new opportunities that present themselves. And that's what the Solarize program does. We invite the public to meetings, we educate them about solar, and then we also bring a solar installer to attend the meeting so they can share with interested parties what is the process from which one gets solar. And then if coming out of these meetings, between 3 and 7 people agree to sign contracts, then they'll get a group buy discount. So it lowers the cost of them purchasing solar.
There's no hard sales pitch. People can decide what they want to do, but we just want to present the information to them so they can make an intelligent decision for themselves. And this also frankly applies to small business, places of worship, nonprofit organizations as well. So it's not just limited to the residential ratepayers. So I look forward to working with all of you. When Dave says we want to do up to 8 meetings, we would literally divide up the county. And so we would have a meeting in every part of the county, and we welcome the attendance and participation of the commissioner from within that area to be a partner in this effort. So with that, I'll stop and take any questions. I appreciate your support.
Anybody have any questions? Commissioner Spiz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one question. What's the $20,000 for? What are we using it for? What's the cost covered?
Oh,
Go ahead, you answer that.
the cost covers rental fee for a location. We provide food and refreshments for people to attend. And we also frankly use money for marketing the event. We have been using advertising on Facebook as a way of really targeting zip codes and getting people aware of the event. Facebook is a pretty amazing tool, as I'm sure you're all well aware of, in terms of getting information out there. And so we use the funds to frankly advertise and market the event and to Xerox the materials that we present at the meetings for people to take with them.
It's structured about $2,500 per meeting. And all the planning, organizing, all that staff is in the Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association will take that. We'll work with our staff as kind of coordinating us to participate where it makes sense and get information of maybe ideal locations where those things happen. But it's basically $2,500. If we end up doing just 6, it'll be less than that. It's $2,500, budgeted $2,500 per community event.
Anybody else? Commissioner Smith Charles?
I'm all in on solar, and my only question is, are these those types of solars that people install and then they have the darndest time trying to transact their property? Do you go into
What do you mean transact their property?
like the leasing of the solar panels sometimes is like a lien? So I'm just curious.
Well, this wouldn't be leasing. This would be purchasing. They would purchase solar and put it on the roof, or in the case of a church, put it on the church roof or on the property. Or if it's in a more of a rural part of the county, people can potentially put in a ground mount system. And what's fascinating is that, you know, if you look at what the impact of putting solar on one's property is, it actually increases the property value. So that when they turn around and want to sell their home down the road, they will be able to recoup their investment because they'll be able to sell their home for a lot more. And you think about it, you have 2 different houses in a neighborhood, and the houses are about the same size, and they use approximately the same amount of electricity. But one house has solar. Dave's bill is less than $10 a month in Royal Oak. I live in Madison Heights. Mine is $10 a month through DTE. And you compare that with a house right next door, and they're paying the full DTE price, which, you know, is clearly over $100 a month.
No offense to the DTE people in the room.
You know, so that's why when you compare the value to a potential home buyer, studies have proven across the country that it increases property value.
Yeah, I mean, and to Commissioner Smith Charles' point, there are a number of companies that came through and off. Basically, they fronted the money, they took the tax credit and everything. Well, the tax credit's going away, so that's a much less lucrative arrangement going forward. But this is not the arrangement that ties up things as in a lease arrangement and the asset tied to the physical property.
Okay, thank you.
So the 20,000 is basically for the 8 meetings that you're gonna have, just
It's the planning, the organizing, the staffing, security.
the meetings, but
the
it's
meeting,
not
the 20.
any technical implementation or money going out to people who are putting it on their house, or it's not like our Rain Smart program. This is purely educational.
The
That's what
education, this
money's
is like to facilitate up to 8 meetings, and so it'll be less if we do less than 8
$20,000 or
meetings.
less. Okay.
So clear your calendars.
Anybody
And the goal
else?
is to complete this by the end of the fiscal year. And starting in February.
Okay. Commissioner Taylor.
Does the education also include the cost per like households, like a residential household, what it would cost if you decided to do this? I know that you'll have some information like banking information or wherever they can go, multiple choices.
It's an excellent question, Commissioner. The way it works is that after we have the meeting, if people are interested, the next step will be that a solar installer will ask for the most recent utility bill of the homeowner. And based upon that one utility bill, they can then calculate what the total amount of electricity they utilized the previous, frankly, 12 months. State law says that you're allowed to have a solar system that generates 110% of your historic load. So the first step that a solar installer does is figure out what is the total amount of electricity that you used over the 12 months. Then they will use typically Google Maps to look at the roof or the property and, well, maybe back up. Once they know how much energy they use, then they can calculate how many solar panels you will need in order to generate that same amount of electricity. And then knowing the number of panels you need, you then look at the person's roof and see if there's sufficient space on the roof to house all the solar panels. And then once that's done, they will give a preliminary estimate of what the cost will be. And then if the homeowner is still interested, and there's no charge for any of that. If they're still interested, then the solar installer will come out and make a personal visit to the home to make sure they didn't miss anything in terms of more of a precise inspection. Whether there's shading from trees or the electrical box needs upgrading, things like that. And then they will give them a final proposal. And then at that point, the homeowner or the church or the small business will decide on whether they want to sign the contract. And if they do sign the contract, and again, if multiple people coming out of these meetings agree to do that, then they'll get between a 5 to 15% discount on the cost of purchasing solar from that solar installer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Powell.
If you live in a association type setup of residential area, have you noticed in the past that they may have some clause or something dealing with the solar panels?
They got homeowners association?
Yeah, they do, or
Well,
do
the
they
state
not?
of-
I haven't focused on it in mine, but I'm just asking.
No, it's a great question, Commissioner Powell, because there are a lot of homeowner associations across
No.
Michigan.
Mhm.
And in 2024, the Michigan legislature passed a law that prohibited homeowners associations from blanketly outlawing the installation of solar within a homeowners association's neighborhood. Prior to this law, homeowners associations not only were preventing, in most cases, any solar, they were also preventing the installation of electric vehicle charging stations. Or they had tremendous authority based upon the homeowners association agreement. And the irony is that a lot of people move into these neighborhoods, and I'm sure they know there's a homeowners association when they decide to buy the home, but they have no idea that a lot of the decisions that they would typically make for the home has been taken out of their hands by the language of the homeowners association. And so the Michigan legislature, signed by Governor Whitmer, said that we need to give everybody the option if they want to get solar or if they want to install an electric vehicle charger for their home. And so a law was enacted, so no longer can the homeowners associations do it. Now, the homeowners association can make certain recommendations for aesthetic purposes, but they cannot any longer completely stop somebody from installing solar.
that they can still control the color of the door.
I'm on our board, so I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Or a flagpole. Political sign in your front yard.
Anybody else? All right, let's prompt the vote, please.
Oh, I don't have a vote. Do you have a vote yet? Does anyone have a vote yet?
No,
Okay,
hold on.
or prompt. Prompt.
That's the new word of the day, is
Prompt.
Let's prompt this up.
ChatGPT prompts.
I'm gonna try it. I'm on the edge today. Support them.
No one talked about the acronym CREEP.
Creep.
The acronym is CREEP. Yes.
For the afternoon work?
Community Renewable Energy.
Oh, it's creep?
Yeah, that's
Oh, I better change my vote.
It's the Oakland Solarize Initiative.
And Woodward.
Yes.
Okay, we have 7 yays.
Noticed that last night when I was reading it.
Oh, creep, it is creep. I
That's
think I'm
funny.
gonna switch my vote.
Okay,
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
motion carries. All right.
Where are
Next
we?
up.
Meet 'em out in the
Where is
park.
that community meeting going?
Meet 'em out in the parking lot.
We'll talk about
Moving
parking
on
lots.
into
I know.
item 9, Economic Development and Infrastructure Committee recommendations. Item A is the notice of intent to end issuance and sale of limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds, Pontiac redevelopment project.
I'll move it.
Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell. All right. We have our CFO with us.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Well, thank you. Brian Leffler, CFO, and Jared Smith with Dickinson Wright. So what do you do?
Yes, good afternoon, nice to see everyone that I've seen and meet others. Jared Smith, Dickinson Wright, we're serving as bond counsel for these upcoming items discussion.
So we're bringing to you, for those who, on the last ED&I, is that this resolution is going to do two functions. One, it's going to allow for the publication of a notice of intent to issue bonds for the Pontiac redevelopment project, which is the 31 Judson Road, Park, the parking structures that are going to be downtown Pontiac. The notice of intent is very similar for those who have seen it before through the WRC projects, is that you have to, before you can pledge the county's full faith and credit, which is essentially the general fund to bond, this notice of intent has to be published in a newspaper. And it has to stay out there for 45 days, and it would give them the public the opportunity, based on the correct number of signatures, to put this item up for referendum. If there is no insufficient signatures or there's no referendum notice, then the second half of this resolution would then allow the county to go out and issue bonds to start paying for the project that's being done going forward. So for those you saw in our prior communication, we're giving you monthly reports of where the spend is for the 31 Judson and then the development agreement side. And you'll notice that if you recall, one of the last items is bond proceeds. It says to be determined, and that's where we haven't utilized any bond proceeds. These are not to exceed. Is that once we start paying for the project, we're gonna use bond proceeds. And also, the resolution is gonna allow the county, in the event that we use strategic initiative funds, to reimburse the county strategic initiative fund from the bond proceeds. Okay. In addition to that, for this Pontiac redevelopment project, is that we did issue an RFP for underwriters and banks to purchase the bonds. With us is the representatives from Wells Fargo and Truist Securities, who will be working on the 31 Judson. And then PNC Bank is going to be we're gonna do a construction loan, like we're just only gonna draw what we need for the financing of the construction of the parking ramps. And then also working with the county's municipal advisor, Baird, to essentially the timing. As you know, the Fed has been lowering interest rates. We're just not gonna try to say I'm gonna second guess the market, but we're gonna be looking at how to reduce our cost of financing of this. And we're not gonna wanna overborrow what's needed, we only wanna finance what we need, so it's kind of like matching use to source on that. With that, this resolution also does three other additional things. One, it does create a debt service fund so that when we have to make a debt service payment, it comes out of a fund. We also have a capital project fund, so when the county receives the dollars, we can put the dollars into the project fund to pay for construction draws or what is needed to pay the vendor. The third item, which is new, is a repair and replacement account. What we are looking long-term is so that we're not here, the same thing after I'm gone and you're all gone, is dealing with another billion-dollar problem of having to fix the infrastructure that you're doing improvements today. We are gonna start setting money aside in a repair and replacement account over time, so that when you have to replace an HVAC unit system, we know what that dollar amount needs to be. So we're not having to spend the multiple dollars in the future just from bonds. We're gonna try to do a little bit of a set aside concept. With that, with the notice of intent, if it's approved, and this resolution is approved by the Board of Commissioners next week, the notice of intent would then be published probably the following week, and then at the earliest that we could actually issue bonds is gonna be in February, is the timing.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
Questions?
No questions?
Very thorough.
So, just thinking about the presentation we had a couple of minutes ago from Mr. Wagner, he's got buyers at the top of his new structure that say strategic purchasing agent. And I'm assuming, you can confirm or deny, that those people are really gonna be focused on these kinds of efforts. We've got 51 Judson.
31 Judson, yep,
We've got the water resources,
project.
and we have another one.
Well, we may potentially be having what's gonna be coming out of parks based on, so I mean, Mr.
Right.
Ward keeps talking to me about bonding, and once we have that plan, there's gonna be focus on that.
So the idea is you'll have a person in purchasing who really focuses on a specific project,
So I
as
can,
opposed to having the pieces of it bouncing around.
so currently on the 31 Judson or the Pontiac redevelopment project, I mean, the whole procurement department, Mr. Wagner and Ms. Williams and his whole team has already been working on making sure that that's done with a lot of attention, so that who are the type of vendors bidding on this project. I mean, that's been a lot of interface with the local community to make sure that local communities, local vendors are there. For example, like drywall, if you have a small business or something like that, or minority business. We're gonna have to do the exact, that whole model that they have created and been utilizing for the Pontiac redevelopment project is actually going to be utilized for the CIP. And also for, I think you probably heard from the water resource team, is that they're gonna follow the process that we're doing here for Pontiac redevelopment, and that's been great. And the same thing is probably gonna be with the Parks Department as well, the Parks area. And hence, that's why, I've been working with Mr. Wagner and his team. We're actually concurrently, while we're putting together this bonding project, what he needs to have to support what's gonna be coming out of Ed Joss and Misty's team for the capital improvement projects. And then what's gonna have to potentially come out of everything else that he's got. But keep in mind too, is that their team is also working on other specialized RFPs, for example, the RFP for inmate medical services, that's very specialized in terms of working on that. That's what he's been working on as well, so it's more than just these capital improvements.
We have a lot of big work coming in the next 2 to
We've been
3
busy.
years. Yeah, that's right. Commissioner Powell.
Do you all foresee possibly coming back before us, or is that what y'all kind of monitoring, if y'all may have to bring more staff because we got all these projects coming?
So for purposes of procurement, I think in the 2026 budget, we did get the staff member that he had already talked about, so that was the fourth site. But also too is in procurement, the redesign that was happening was already in that process, but it was just formalized, and that's when OGov was that was part of the second piece on that. As it relates to other staff, yeah, there's gonna probably be some staffing related inside to facilities, but right now we don't know. a lot of times, like for example, on some of these projects for the capital improvement, we're gonna probably have an owner's rep, a construction manager. Because one of the things I've said this before, I'm not opposed to having the right staffing, but it's hard to wanna put a 30-year county employee for a project that's only 3 years. So we're trying to balance what is really the long term. Now, as we start having this repair and replacement account, there may be a need to add staff so that we can internally do the repair replacements with just in-house versus having the third-party contract. So it's something we have to come back to the Board of Commissioners for any staffing levels.
Got it, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anybody else? Let's prompt the vote on item 9A.
Woodward?
Yes.
We have 6 yeas and 2 nays.
How do you know? It's still moving. Let's go.
Item 9B, issuance and sale of limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds for county improvement projects.
It's okay, I still.
Commissioner Taylor, supported by Commissioner Smith, Spiz.
And I would be
All
excited
right.
if it was me.
It's all just a Commissioner exempt. The name.
Ooh.
All right.
Thank you. April Lynch, Deputy County Executive, oversee facilities, HR, and performance management. I think you all know Ed Joss, Director of Facilities, and Rates, who oversees the supervisor for our CPE. So a couple weeks ago, the last last EDI meeting, we had passed and went through a pretty large presentation as it relates to what we were gonna be doing for our CIP program. And I realized walking in here that it ended up going into consent. So finance actually didn't get to see the presentation. But what you should have received in your mailbox was a pretty large packet, very large sheet of paper, and a pretty massive PowerPoint. So hopefully that was able to help you out there. Okay. So just to recap where we are, we have about $1 billion worth of deferred capital throughout all of our 2 million square feet of office. We had done a study, it's very brief, a study with Plant Moran to kind of put a dart, if you will, at the wall of getting a handle on what's going on with all of our buildings, where we need to lean in, where we can reduce, all of those things to come up with a comprehensive plan. In the meantime, our team, both Ed and Misty, have been working almost 2 solid years of taking all of that plan and providing where we are today, which is our first draw of about $230 million that we can start impacting these buildings that we have throughout Oakland County. Just to put it in perspective, I went to a quarterly meeting in facilities, and when I told them we were coming in front of the board for this resolution, they literally clapped. So these are the folks that are working day in and day out on maintaining and all of our buildings, our infrastructure, mechanicals, all those things. So we are here before you now. The intent to go out for bond happened a couple weeks ago and was approved by the board, so that 45-day window has started. Today, this is the request, as well as Brian has discussed, about actually now putting our foot forward and looking at our first draw and beginning these projects. I think that's kind of a good overview based on all the information you've had, what you've heard, you watched the video. We'll open it up for questions.
Okay, Commissioner Powell.
So it's the same banks over this bond?
No,
or-
it's not.
Okay, so who are those?
So those have not been selected.
Oh, okay, so that's,
But
okay.
the point though is that the 14 firms that were submitted proposals for the Pontiac redevelopment project, they're all qualified to do the same work. So we have a pool of firms that can do that. We're anticipating, for example, on this one, we've asked for essentially term sheets from folks to say, okay, what's the cost associated with like their construction draw schedule. So I'm waiting for those now.
Okay.
Anybody else?
What?
I just,
Sent us out that nice.
you've all heard
in our
me say
mailbox.
this before, I'm so excited that we're actually doing this. The fact that we had not been, I mean, if you're a homeowner, you know you have to, buy a new pump or remodel a whatever, or fix the leak. The same is true for, 50-some buildings we have on this campus?
So I think we've mentioned before is that, we have to maintain our AAA, that's one of my KPIs. And so
Right.
one of the things is every time the Water Resource Commission has to go out for bonding, we actually coordinate the effort. And the Moody's report was really the one that was kept saying is that one of the county's weakness is the lack of investment in your county-owned infrastructure. It's great to have water and sewer projects by the water there, but that's different than our infrastructure. So, this is gonna really help us we're quite excited about it. In addition to that, so when there's other bonding, like the parks, it's self-supporting because they have a separate millage, but this is really coming out of our general fund. So this is essentially the county's investment that's gonna be helping.
I would like to add one more thing to that as well. Brian had mentioned it before, but we have already started a repair and replacement fund. So we are working through the budget process to continually add to that so that we are not here in the same spot when we're not here.
Excellent.
I have to say thank you to Ed and Misty. It was really, when I came here, it's so deficient.
Commissioner Howell.
One more question. When these, and y'all may have sent this, but, this capital improvement plan is to sustain us how many years? Like, once we get through, we do all the renovations, what does this, is it like over a 20-year period? Like, what?
Well, so the useful life of whatever the improvement is, for example, let's say an HVAC system that gets removed, the useful life of it, say, is 20 years.
Okay, 20.
So it really depends upon the improvement. So if it's a road with proper maintenance, and this is the other thing about the maintenance money that we have to do, is that if you avoid sealing a road, it'll deteriorate. So
Right.
this is essentially where it's really more comprehensive, so yeah.
Got it, okay.
But the plan you saw in that PowerPoint, that $800 million is about over 13 years.
Oh.
That helps you.
So the 232 million is going to address the high priority, like 1 to 3 year.
Got it.
So we're gonna do projects in parallel and try to get as much of this done and get caught up as quickly as we can. But the goal is 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Seeing none, let's prompt the vote.
5-2.
Yes.
Are you good on this one?
No nays. Oh, so the last one was 5-2.
No, the Pontiac one was fine, but not this one.
I thought it was an EDI too, no one over here.
Yeah, I know. It's okay, I figured that. He's told me his sentiments about my project and my.
It was unanimous for this one.
Yeah, I was just waiting to see if they was gonna be involved in that second one. Say now, y'all know y'all gotta be a yes.
Good rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.
This is the money people.
Boy, the room cleared out.
Oh, thank you.
Alright.
Money people.
That's good, you?
Money ones are going.
Just for a moment to clear out.
It's all the money people, finance.
Tell by their fancy shoes.
It is kind of kind of Jewish people. The same type of bakers. You're right.
Okay, next up, we have item 9C, contract with Frank Rewald and Sons to serve as the construction manager for the new Public Works building. Moved by somebody moved it. Commissioner Erickson Gall, supported by Commissioner Woodward. All right, good afternoon.
Oh, it is afternoon now. Good afternoon, everybody. Jim Knack, Water Resource Commissioner. Steve Korth is my chief manager who is going to describe this. Ann Navarra is my chief deputy. And Brian Coburn is one of my managers in charge of this actual project. So, Steve?
We'll jump right in. This is a recommendation of the construction manager for the new Public Works building. And the construction manager is an important part of our process here. They take the lead in all the planning, coordination of all phases of construction work, and they track schedule and budget for a project. But we're not even close to construction. Where we are in this project is site plan. So we're at the site plan development phase, and we need a construction manager on board actually develop a cost estimate based on the site plan we're preparing. So that's the key role that they will be doing, and the process will then be, once we have the site plan, once we have the cost developed, and we want to come back to the committees and to the full board to present these items and how we're going to finance it, et cetera, to get further approval to advance in the project to final design. So this construction manager's task at this time is limited to cost estimating on our site plan phase. So for the process, we work closely with purchasing, with the request for proposal. We received 5 qualified proposals. They were evaluated and scored. The team consisted of 7 people from WRC, purchasing, fiscal, and facilities management. 2 firms were selected for interviews. And based upon the proposal evaluations and the results of the interviews, it's our recommendation to select Frank Rewald and Sons out of Rochester for construction management services for this project. If there's any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? Commissioner Woodward.
And the funds for this would be out of the drain equipment fund, right? That's to pay for the preliminary design. That's correct.
Okay. Anybody else? Let's prompt the vote on item 9C. Woodward?
Yes.
We have 5 yeas, 2 nays.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have item 9D, the grant acceptance with the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency for the fiscal year 2026 County Veterans Service Fund. Moved by Commissioner Smith-Charles, supported by Commissioner Spiz.
Good afternoon. All right, so as you highlighted, we are here to discuss the potential acceptance of a fiscal year 26 grant from the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. This grant is critical to providing dollars that help us to promote the veterans services resources that we provide to the 50,000 veterans that live in Oakland County. It's also critical to our delivery of services in the Veterans Resources Fairs that we put on and the food drive or the food benefit events that we do. I think we did 12 last year. For something similar to this year. The team at Veterans Services supports in person about 4,000 residents per year, also receives just north of 16,000 calls per year. So it's a tremendous amount of volume that they receive and administer. And with that, I'll turn it over to Garth Wooten, our manager of Veterans Services, to talk a little bit more about what this grant entails for Oakland County and how it may be different than previous years.
Thank you, Don. Yeah, this year's grant is in the amount of $149,900, and we're planning to utilize those funds to support our Veterans Resource Fairs. We believe that will be enough to support 3 or 4 Veterans Resource Fairs. We utilize it to buy food vouchers that veterans or dependents can, if they come to the Veterans Resource Fair, they can receive those sundry vouchers, which they can then take to Meyer and buy those items. The idea is to try and get them into the resource fair and then connect them to resources that are gonna provide them long-term assistance or benefits. So it's really been successful. We just had an event in November that we had about 570, we distributed 570 Meyer vouchers at that event. So we're happy to continue those events. We also note that this is substantially smaller than previous years. In fiscal year 24, we got $505,000. In fiscal year 25, we were approved for $549,000, which in the middle of the fiscal year, the state reduced to $214,000 due to their accounting year. So again, this is substantially less. You'll also notice that the date of the grant approval was September 25th, 2025. It was originally approved to utilize the funds in this manner. Then at the beginning of the fiscal year, when the state finally had its budget, they changed their requirements and said we couldn't use it for outreach, we could only use it for people. So we we did our grant and then about the middle of November, the state came back and found that those changes were unenforceable after some discussions with the legislature. So we're back to our original application and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have about this grant or prior grants.
Anybody have any comments? Commissioner Woodward?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that this is considerably lower than the past. Is like, what revenue stream supports this trust fund at the state level? Do you know?
It's general fund dollars.
It's general fund dollars.
$4.2 million for the entire state for all 83 counties. About 60 counties applied for it this year.
Is that more counties than usual, or is that?
That's less than usual. The state really put some requirements in that were kind of difficult for counties to comply with. So that means that initial amount, let's say 60 counties apply, they each get $50,000 to start, so that's $3 million. There's $1.2 million left over. Then the $1.2 million is distributed to counties that applied based on veteran population. So we got essentially $50,000 and then another $99,900 based on our veterans population.
So is that appropriation just less than what they appropriated last year? I guess
No, it's been
what is-
4.2 million since the grant was started, I believe in 2019, so it hasn't gone up. But there was a previous years, there was a lot of carry forward funds that they used to make the amounts larger. And then we suspect, although we've never gotten a final accounting on last year's fiasco, that they were miscalculating the carry forward and exaggerating it, so that's why it got reduced so much.
Got it.
And I do want to add that we do appreciate the funding that we received, the general fund dollars that we received in the amount of $242,000, which in addition to this $149,900 is going to allow us to continue those programs and continue the transportation program that we started last year.
Thank you.
So, yeah, if anybody wants to know whether these dollars are being well spent, I just encourage you to show up to one of the Veterans Resource Fairs that we have every couple of months, because you realize how much need there is, and also how enthusiastic the veterans are about, getting out there and getting what's right for them. I mean, I'm glad Oakland County in this world right now with everything that's going on is trying to do our best to pump as much funding as we can toward these programs, because people need them. You show up and there's 700 people in line at 9 o'clock in the morning.
You guys said it was packed.
That's just, the need is there. And I really appreciate the work your team does, because I know that you reach down and touch individuals every single day that need help. I've had constituents that have called me and I said, call Tyrone or call Grant, and sure enough, that little problem they're having, you guys can usually, if it's not you to solve it, you're pointing them to the right people. I just really appreciate the work that your department does. And, I hope the public knows that too, because it's a really great program. Commissioner Powell?
I actually was just gonna stress too, just your whole team, just thank them, cause I know it's been some things going on, but for the most part, they're sticking together to still show support in this area with our veterans, and one person can't do it, you got a team supporting you, so thank you.
All right, if there's nothing else, let's prompt the vote.
Woodward?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, we have item 9E, the Springs at 5 and Main Brownfield Plan located in the Charter Township of Commerce. Moved by Commissioner Long, supported by Commissioner Powell.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Kristen Milting, and I have with me today Brad Hansen and Don Holmes. We're with the Economic Development Department, and before you is a resolution for the Brownfield Plan for the Springs at 5 in Main and Commerce Township. This is located approximately at M5 and Pontiac Trail. This project and the plan has been reviewed and approved by the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. This was done on October 28th of 2025. And I'll turn it over to Brad for some additional information on the project.
Good morning, or afternoon, excuse me. This project's at M5 and Pontiac Trail in Commerce Township. It's on 12.27 acres. It's in total, it's 9 three-story buildings comprising of 284 units. 100 of those units are gonna be for workforce affordable attainable housing, if you will, at 120% AMI or below. With a max of 120% AMI for a 10-year period. The developer worked with Mishta on that. Mishta wanted to see more units in the development, 120% AMI versus less units for a longer period of time. So that's why you see 100 units for a 10-year period. Commerce sees this as an anchor for their Commerce Town Place. The DDA spent a significant amount of money putting the infrastructure in place. But even with that said, the developer ran into some unforeseen issues when putting infrastructure in, added infrastructure into the site, so they ran into some costs there. The TIF eligible activities for this project is dealing with those costs, not the missing income that they're gonna see from the 100 units with the rental. TIF for the project over the 30 years is $13 million, and that's gonna be reimbursed from state school taxes, which is again made whole from the state. But that's unusual for brownfield projects. Usually it's either local only or state and local. In this case, the state agreed to go this route because they saw the DDA has put a significant amount of money into the project already with the infrastructure, and they saw that as local support. But that is kind of an unusual circumstance for a brownfield project. I'll be happy to answer any other questions if there are any.
Okay. We'll start with Commissioner Long.
Thank you. So is there for the brownfield, for it to be a brownfield, is there contamination from the golf course that used to be there?
This is the new, in 2023, there's an amendment to the brownfield language to allow housing projects to qualify for brownfield.
Okay.
As long as they're attainable workforce housing.
Oh, so there goes the 100. Yeah, I see some ex-relative there voted no on this, so on the minutes. Because the trustee.
We saw that too. We wondered about that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so that's why I'm asking my questions here.
Now more supportive.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I told them. I'm like, I'm a yes. So then the rule changed, so that's why the housing, you have a certain percentage of those apartments had to be.
It doesn't.
Or the DDA decided to do 100 units.
The developer worked with Mishta.
Okay.
To come up with that number.
Okay.
And that's the number that they agreed with Mishta in order for Mishta to support the
Okay, so
project.
there was nothing contaminated, but it could, I mean, because the golf course was by there, that's why I was
There's
wondering.
no
So
contamination.
that changed in 2023?
Correct.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard for me to get out of my mind for all these years,
Yeah.
everything had to be contaminated, so
Right.
that's why I'm sorry, I'm sure I was told that before, but I totally forgot, because it's been so many years that it had to be contaminated property, so
Sure.
now I will further.
It's, historically, brownfield, and Michigan's always been kind of a loose interpretation of brownfield, where historically it's been a contaminated or a facility, functionally obsolescence, blighted, or a historic
Right.
resource, or land bank, which is great now because we have a land
Okay.
bank. But yeah, in 2023 it changed where a housing property, which is consistent.
Is that the only thing that changed in it, is the housing property part?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
That
then
was
I'll
one.
remember from future, I just wanna try to, so I'm, okay, so I get it, why it qualifies now, that's what I wanted to ask, okay, perfect, thank you.
Commissioner Woodward.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fairly new thing.
Yeah.
I'm not on the brownfield board anymore, but.
Yeah,
when
see, I didn't know
left,
either.
They were still trying to figure out the rules and how, have they figured out all the rules yet?
We're getting there.
Alright, it's so new that they're literally building the plane while it's in the air, so, but I think this is, this is a great example on how the brownfield tool can be used to support building more attainable and worker housing, and so I'm glad that we've got a project that's able to move forward.
Commissioner Powell.
I just wanted to go on there also to say that I'm happy to see that they're doing affordable, attainable workforce units in Commerce. That's wonderful. All through the county now.
Listen to EDI's on, EDI meeting on YouTube. More context.
All right, thank you.
If I may, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the board, which in the budget process approved the hiring of a principal planner to assist the team with the volume of projects that they're seeing. Kristen and Brad have been essentially pulling double duty. We've got, upwards of 30 projects that we're managing over a long period of time, including a very large transformational brownfield for the first time in the county. And that support is key to helping us to do this work at a high level. So thank you.
I just want it made clear, because it has changed and now affordable housing is part of the brownfield way of doing things. I want the public to understand that this does not mean we're gonna put affordable housing where there's contamination.
Yes.
Because that's a natural connection, right? It's always been, as Commissioner Long said, that it's contaminated sites. Now we're going in there and we're gonna put affordable housing.
Yeah, that's true. Good
I just wanna make sure the public understands that we are not putting affordable housing on a contaminated site. That is not what this is doing.
And the public should also understand that the team has done a good job of pulling in funding from EPA and other sources to remediate property that is going to be part of these projects. So that's also a upfront, factor.
Okay.
That's a good
Good,
point.
thank you.
Because that's what happens when they're disqualified.
Well,
Okay. So it's not-
people are concerned and.
Or I'll just say, or if there is a case where there's gonna be housing on a brownfield project, there are strict standards
Okay,
that developers have to meet in order to have
just like anything.
any housing on a former brownfield site. Just to cover any
Contaminated.
basis going forward, if there is a housing project on a former contaminated site, there needs to be
Yeah,
a
'cause
certain
it could
standard
happen.
that site needs to be cleaned up
Could
to
happen.
in order for a housing project to be established there.
Correct.
So-
Right.
But this is not one of those. This is a
You are
project.
very much correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
But there might
Good.
be something in the future,
Well,
probably.
I know, I didn't understand it
I didn't either.
the same way, so I'm glad we had this
Yep.
fleshed out in committee. All right, anybody else with any other questions?
Thank you.
Go ahead and prompt the
I'll
vote.
remember this, so that's good.
Woodward?
Yes.
Yeah, go tell that relative.
I saw that, I was like, oh, yes.
Yeas or nays?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm the better politician out of the two, so I'm for sure, yes. We're on record, hi. Just kidding.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, we are on item 9F. The amendment to the policy on tax increment financing, authority participation, and tax capture limitations.
You guys talked about this anytime, right?
Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Taylor. And then we also have the Woodward amendment to this, so. Commissioner Woodward,
I'll move the amendment.
I'll second the amendment.
moving the amendment, and Commissioner Spiz is seconding the amendment.
And on the amendment, I think it, clarified what was supposed to be there. So there was some language around standards for assessing for consideration of future projects. We're just gonna take that language out, relying on that we have the systems in place to ensure that we're getting accurate assessing on these projects. And then some clarifying language on the scoring to determine what the amount of capture in an objective criteria, relying on economic development to do that scoring, bringing it to the TIF committee for recommendation.
Oh, okay, so
and
it
going-
still will come to TIF, but
Still
it's going to
come- so, yeah.
economic development
Yeah,
first.
the way that was originally written, it looked
Okay.
like TIF was gonna sit around and do the scoring
Okay.
like in real
Okay,
time.
got it.
I mean, the reality is that economic development meets with these communities multiple times.
Staff of economic
Staff,
development,
yeah,
and then they'll,
exactly.
okay.
And they would bring that recommendation, and if there is some disagreement that the TIF committee has with the scoring, I mean, there could be some modification, I guess. I mean, it could be considered, but the work is gonna be done by economic development,
Okay.
come to the TIF with a recommendation, then to EDI, and then.
So your amendment's making it clear?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Those two things.
Anybody else?
I I just
Commissioner Smith Charles.
like to thank Chair Woodward for asking me to help out with this. I didn't know what TIF really even was a year ago. Now I feel like I have a junior degree in it. But I wanna shout out Amy, who has a PhD in this stuff. At this point, dissertation is ready to go for her if she ever wants to utilize it. But just wanted to say thank you publicly for the many hours of hard work on this.
Give that woman a stage.
All right, anybody else? Let's prompt the vote on the amendment.
Okay, this is the amendment, right?
Yes. I'm so glad we have staff.
Woodward?
Yes.
Yes. 8 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay, and then we're gonna move to the main motion. And prompt that vote.
Do you have a question?
No, profit.
Profit, that's fine, but my question really is why are we eliminating Parks and Rec and transit only? Is the two things we're not gonna use as captures? Why just those two?
So the rationale, this was discussed in EDI, that moving forward, voters approved the transit millage and voters approved the transit millage for transit and not to be captured for other projects. Similar for parks, they approve a parks millage with the expectation it's used for parks and not used for non-park related type things. Those are the only two that are actually under our jurisdiction. OCC could opt out of participating, that's their choice. The Huron Clinton Valley, not Huron Clinton, the Huron
Watershed?
the Metro Park system could choose if they wanted to opt out. We're not part of that. The only two other millages beyond our county millage is parks and, well, DIA and
Already opted out, aren't
well, the state law was changed to
Yes.
prevent DIA of the Arts Authority and the Zoo Authority from being captured.
Yes.
So they changed state law for
So
that.
state law has changed for those.
So then we just changed this county.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is for our policy, is that we're just not going to allow the capture of those things. And frankly, all the recent DDA corridor improvement and the most recent one in Rochester Hills, I think we exempted those things and worked with the petitioners and in some cases extended the term so they could capture enough revenue to do the project in hand.
Real quick.
So that's the reason why.
Okay.
I think Mike's done, I asked
Mike's
him.
done.
Okay, so I have one question because I missed Decon. Are taking these two out, will it take TIF committee's leverage from wanting to have transit stuffs in their plans, trails in their plan, like that's what we did to this recent one, we said, or even, when they come and they say, we're gonna make a transit location, pave this, will we have the same leverage now
It's
with them
part-
saying, hey, you're not getting the transit money,
If you
you're
look
not
at the
getting the
scoring,
parks?
the scoring, I
Oh, so
think
the
takes some of
scoring's gonna
those,
take- yeah.
allows for some consideration that this helps promote transit, this helps promote housing.
Should incentivize it.
It should incentivize
The
it more.
scoring will help that problem,
Right.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, before when they were capturing it, I thought when we were in the meetings, we kinda used that saying, we gave them bonus points without a scoring for having that in their
Right,
plan.
and I think, the way
So I
that it's
just
set
wanted
up,
to
that
hurt
the
it.
higher the score, the greater the amount of capture that they'd be eligible
All right,
for.
so
So
I
I'd
have to
argue
look at
that
the
actually
scoring.
strengthens the leverage in
Is
it.
the scoring thing in here or not in here? Okay, then I'll look, I'll look at that, last page again.
It is, right.
I never made it to the last page apparently today, you
And in
guys.
terms of transit, and the transit dollars, there's nothing that prevents, like if there's a project that's happening and some infrastructure to help improve transit, one, we have the transit mobility grant program that the transit committee authorized, and I think the second round's getting ready to start to enhance. But we can use transit dollars to enhance transit in any area. That's money that stays in our account. I think it's important to realize for TIFs, like the dollars are getting captured into a bank account that's not associated with us. And so we as a county can participate in anything at any time. If we're gonna allow gradual capture from the general fund in this case.
I get it, so your scoring is going to help that, so when it was Lyon Township, right, Lyon was going to put in, I think, the transit thing in their central, they want it, that would just score them higher without them capped.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And that's a great example that we.
Because we just did that one, and I thought that was a little leverage.
We pulled parks and transit out of that request. and extended the time period so that they needed to get to a certain number, and so we, instead of 15 years, we went 20 years. I don't know the exact numbers, but we went a little bit longer so they could capture
Okay.
the difference that they would have
They
captured.
included those features in their plan, so, okay, got it, thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Junior plus education.
Let's vote on the main motion as amended.
Woodward?
Yes.
Well, they don't do the zoo, they don't do DIA.
The 8 yeas, 0 nays.
So the state
Alright.
technically does.
Motion carries. Next, we're gonna move on to public health and safety recommendations, starting with item 10A. There's a whole bunch of grant
Yeah, I was
acceptances
just about to
here.
say, can you couple these?
Should we do them
Yeah,
all
at least the
together?
state.
I need to exit.
We could do the state one, maybe we should do the departments together, like if it's a human services, do that separate, and then the state court, pull
Let's
those
see.
together,
How
maybe?
about this? How about we do 10A, B, C, D, E,
Yeah, you can go.
F, G, H, I. Oh, those are amendments.
Yeah, maybe do the
I,
amendment,
J.
oh, maybe do, I see what you're saying, and then
10A
do
through
K,
H.
and then you could add maybe K and 11, and then do the amendments together. Do A, or you can do the amendments, just do the whole thing maybe, can we do the whole thing?
Barbara says I can do it all at once.
Yeah, we
I
can,
listened to Barbara.
Cause these are,
they're all,
speaking on behalf, but they all stuff, we know that these are renewals.
but they
Yes.
waited, so they might wanna speak, if anyone wants to speak, I guess, I don't know.
Who's here?
Yeah.
Right.
They online, Kate,
Oh,
they online.
They've been waiting all day.
They've been waiting, so they might wanna speak, that's what I'm saying, just
Yes.
make sure that they can speak, 'cause they've been on.
Look, Kate like, no.
Yeah, see, there you go,
Alexandra, Curtis.
I saw they've been waiting all day.
Can I speak to it?
Woodward.
Yeah, just like, the reason these grants are here for acceptance is that, so we approved the grant applications. Sometimes we had to do an exception because of the timing of things. These grants that come through, it prescribes how these dollars are gonna get used, and so from a policy point of view, and these, they all look like fine and reasonable, but I think that's something just to think about in the future, are we, I mean, and from a board's perspective, we have confidence that this is the way these dollars should be spent per the grant agreement. Did anything change between the grant application and the grant agreement?
Maybe.
Which is why they're before us. But taking them all as a lump is perfectly cool, as long as,
Finance does, it's just the sheer of the amount we got this week, over 60 items, you know, and then the.
don't tell people, just load up on the agenda when there's all the stuff on the agenda.
Yeah.
Cause that's when everyone will come.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, they cannot.
But
No,
let
I get
them,
it,
I
I get
guess if we take them together, give them opportunity to speak still, cause they've been waiting online.
And if they don't, we can vote.
Yeah, if they don't wanna speak, but
Just
they
let us
don't.
know y'all okay, cause we okay.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so I see, I'm just gonna call names by who I see on the board up there and.
Yeah.
Need your motion, we need a motion.
Oh, do.
Oh, I motion
Are you gonna do
Moved by
A through,
Commissioner Powell,
10A through I.
okay,
I or L?
L, I'm sorry,
Yeah, I
I'm
thought-
sorry, L.
yes, L.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Erickson Dolph, all right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's all our grant acceptances. And before we vote, Kate
Maybe get
Guzman,
10
do you
minutes
have
before the
anything
park
you
meeting.
wanna talk about on any of these grants?
No, I thank you all. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, let's see, we have Curtis Smith. Is there anything
I
you,
want to say thank you, and we look forward to serving Oakland County families with these resources to abate lead in homes.
excellent. Alex Black,
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, cause I've
are you
waited.
there?
Gaia didn't came off.
Okay,
okay.
okay.
Just make
I
sure.
see Gaya, are you there? Do you have anything you wanna add to this discussion?
No, if you don't have any questions for me, I'm set to move ahead.
That's why I said just ask
Just
them,
wanna make sure we touch base with
you
anybody
know, 'cause
who's
they're there
been
from
waiting.
11 o'clock.
Yesterday.
Once more, Alex Black, are you there?
Hi, Alex.
You gave such a great presentation yesterday. If we
Yeah.
need to
Yeah,
review it,
she
we
did.
can, but these
Yeah.
are all renewals.
Yes, Yeah, we're good.
Also.
And these all went through public health and safety
Yes,
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yes, okay, all right,
Okay, good, thank you.
all right, well,
Those
thank
that
you,
were online,
everybody.
yeah.
Great.
Let's prompt the vote.
Great. That was wonderful.
Good thinking, good minds think alike.
Woodward?
Yes.
Okay. Did it come on?
Taylor?
We have
Yeah, I
seven
saw these
yeas,
were on
0
public.
nays.
They were on the
Okay,
meeting
all
yesterday.
of the grant acceptances have been approved.
Thank you.
So thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Staying there too, probably.
All right. Next up, we have item 11, which is the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee recommendations. Item 11A is creation of a recreation program coordinator and strategic sourcing agent positions. Moved by Commissioner Taylor, supported by Commissioner Smith Charles. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks, commissioners. Again, if you want to move through and pass these, we were at Lago yesterday, and we're up against a Parks Commission meeting at 2 o'clock.
We are.
We'll get you there.
But I did bring some friends. So the first one here is the creation of a recreation program coordinator position and a strategic sourcing agent. This recreation program coordinator will support our active adult population, and that is a team run by Sandy Dory, Active Adults, and Adaptive Recreation, which is a growing community in Oakland County. That being said, they do phenomenal work.
Oh, and this was will you say there was a savings, wasn't there, is this the one that there was a savings by hiring this one, or is that something else?
That's the strategic sourcing one.
Oh, that's the other one, okay, sorry, tell the savings, when it comes to the next one, tell the savings.
I'll kick it over to Kevin, who's our
sorry,
Chief
I'm getting
of Budget
confused in
and
the two.
Procurement.
Well, I think as echoing a lot of what Aaron Wagner and that team talked about earlier today, as you know, with the Parks Village, our funding, our capital projects a few years ago were $2 million a year. 2026's capital improvement plan is $20 million a year. So a lot more contractors, and that's not even including, things like the future farmers market, Waterford Oaks renovations. There's a lot of construction coming down the pike for Parks and Rec over the next 20 years. If there's bonding project like Mr. Leffler mentioned earlier, so this strategic sourcing agent is gonna be we're now utilizing general fund county staff to help with our purchasing and procurement. And there's just a lot of delays. We have a short construction season, a lot of delays that are happening with us needing to get, like, we have a bid going out now for fireworks and flannel. That event's in February. We're just getting the bid going today just because we don't have a dedicated person doing our procurement for parks. So this will give us an in-house buyer, procurement person, and there could be savings looked at in the future with indirect costs or things like that. But for right now, this is just giving us a allocated buyer in-house at Parks.
Your savings, Dave, he's not saying it's good, cause I was iffy about it, I see him, sorry, going out of order, but I see him a little iffy about it. There was a savings projected on this position, cause I was a little worried about positions with millage money. So, I think I see him doing the same thing, that's what I did in Parks, that's why I said which one had the savings. Do you have that slide or that, I thought you guys had something written out that there, so that's why I voted for it. Which might need to go with, you might need to see that.
No,
Oh. I didn't know, I'm going by your facial
Well, I mean, we've got our parks recommendation, I mean, and if our parks representatives up.
There was some kind of projected
commission,
savings.
Our board members
Yes.
at parks are confident in these
Remember?
positions. It is from a millage perspective. Very much was like, we need to raise the millage, be able to have the dollars to fix the things that have been deferred maintenance for a long time. And we've had, this might be the third, maybe fourth position that's been created now as a result of the millage. And I'm gonna go on record, I'm gonna support this. I'm gonna be a squeaky wheel on the fifth one though.
Yeah.
If there's enough, I mean,
That's why I wanted them to tell you the savings.
and there's also, there's
I'm
no
watching
question, I mean, in terms of our senior population, senior programming, I would argue that position falls within the program aspect of performing parks and night. And I think it does make sense to have a tenfold increase in the amount of capital projects and the management of that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I just wanna make sure that we're working in, one thing to rely on purchasing That we're working in close tandem
And yeah,
with it.
we had conversations with Aaron Wagner, he came over, we met about this. This employee is going to be trained and everything by county procurement, making sure all the same procedures and policies are being followed.
Right.
So,
And all purchasing would still go through the county purchasing process. This is someone who maybe be quarterbacking
correct,
park stuff.
correct.
Oh, good.
Yeah, got it.
Yep.
They need it.
Okay, but I thank you for
Yeah,
noticing
no.
my.
I was like that at the park, so that's why I said, but I asked further questions, so I too agree with that position. I wanna watch how many people we hire, with the millage money, so. That's why I wanted you to tell that part, that it was a savings, you know, to, here.
Mission 26 is about public impact, and that has been our focus.
Yeah.
We're acutely aware.
Yep.
that these dollars are going to infrastructure, that's what we promise.
Yep.
That's what we developed.
Yeah, I have a little bit of concern. I'm gonna vote yes too, but this whole idea of having somebody who's gonna do procurement that doesn't work for procurement. We've just gone through this whole discussion of, you know, things have gotten a little loose. We've had some mistakes by other departments and I just wanna reiterate, if we're gonna do this, I want triple checks and balances as to what you just said about how the training and the coordination and maybe a regular sit down with procurement to review what's going on, but I don't wanna get in the position where we've got a rogue agent out here doing procurement.
100%, that's why we brought in Aaron Wagner in these infancy discussions about this position, and he was completely on board, and the two teams will work so closely together that I don't think that'll be an issue.
Okay. We'll ask in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And see how it
I'm on it,
works,
so.
you know?
See how fast that farmer's market gets built. It's like, you
Anybody
wanna keep your
else have any
job, build
comments or
faster.
questions?
Yes, ma'am.
If there's no concerns with this one, let's prompt the vote.
Just wanna let you guys know that I'm watching it there though for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Yes.
I saw your face.
You have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
That's
Okay,
what mine
motion
was.
carries, excellent. And next up, we have item 11B, grant acceptance from the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund and approval of the agreement for the purchase and sale of the Turtle Woods Nature Preserve acquisition.
It's Charter Township of Royal Oak, which I'll move.
Oh yeah, you're at the B.
B, 11B.
B.
Maybe refresh.
11 Bravo.
They must just did it, cause I'm.
No.
Oh, there you go. I had to refresh. Just hit refresh.
They're all alone.
No, not on mine.
It got
I
added later,
just-
cause
I just
I've
had to
refreshed
refresh
like
it,
10
yeah.
times.
I have too.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yolanda wants to.
11B,
Charles
Park
wants to move
Development Grant Agreement with the Charter Township of Royal Oak. Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Taylor. All right.
Yes. So this is a project that we see is quite important towards our Mission 26 work. I invited Simon Rivers, who's our planning lead, because this is a project that without your support, we wouldn't be here.
Sure, yeah, so thanks Alan and thank you all for having us today. So this is a part of the Mission 26 Health and Wellness and Access and Equity core values. We're asking for Royal Oak Township is asking for a $250,000 strategic partnership grant from Oakland County Parks and Recreation to match a $979,000 Michigan Spark grant from the Michigan DNR, which is funded by the American Rescue Plan. The grant is for a restroom building at Civic Center Park, which is a 3.5 acre community park in Royal Oak Township, which is their largest, and it's the site of many celebrations, Juneteenth, 4th of July, graduations.
Is that the one where we did the tree plantings?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. And so the Spark grant is going to provide funding for replacing existing playgrounds and a pavilion, adding an additional pavilion, installing a 1/4 mile accessible walking path, and utilities connections for a proposed restroom. This strategic partnership grant is so that the renovations are able to move forward in a more coordinated way rather than in separate phases. And the township residents identified restrooms as their #1 priority in their 2025 recreation plan. And it'll this grant will address longstanding gap in their local infrastructure and advance our health and equity core values.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you supported the authoring that Spark grant for the ARPA dollars.
Correct.
We're matching funds to make them whole to accomplish the projects.
Correct, Oakland County Parks, we help with the application and we've been helping in the overseeing of the project management. And so this will be sort of the cherry on top of that total park transformation.
Great.
That's great. This is exactly what the Parks Village is supposed to
see?
do.
I knew you'd like this one.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Commissioner Smith Charles.
Yeah, so Ann Capella over at Royal Oak Township has, she texted me with updates and things like that. So she wanted us to know, back in October, the township and the county, as you were mentioning, closed out the 20,000 park plan grant that you guys were so generous to approve last year. You know, it's like it takes money to make money, everybody would say. And she then was like, hey, we need a restroom facility, some study I heard yesterday in your other committee that bathrooms are very important when you're out in the wild. And so, that piece. And then today, the Royal Oak Township, not germane to this, but I just wanted to say it while we're still in this item, had their Royal Oak Cottages one ribbon cutting, which again, shout out to Oakland County. So Donna and the whole Royal Oak Township community loves Oakland County. I don't know about the state, I don't know about federal, but Oakland County has shown up and shown out under my leadership in that district and with all of your help to sustain that. So $250,000, oh my God, that's so much money. Bathroom, who wants it? No, we can do it, it's there. And without stepping on toes, we did a $500,000 bathroom in Rochester. And so, I would just say that Royal Oak Township is a much more in need community, but per capita, I would like to say. So if we can get this over the fence, that'd be great. And again, thanks for at least getting it from committee yesterday to here.
Thanks for your leadership in this one.
Yeah, thanks. They appreciate it, really, they do.
And the whole point about bathrooms is really true. Because I can tell you parks all over this county where
There's no bathroom.
if it's a new park, there's no bathroom, right? It really should be step one. You got moms
Well,
with
there it was.
3-year-olds coming to the parks, right? I've never understood it. Out where I live, same thing. We had a big park built with no bathrooms for like 4 years. And
Some people busting up, that's fine.
parks people, put that in your hat.
Yeah,
and-
They do.
we're working
I'm a big
on,
bathroom person.
We
so you
do
know
good
that.
bathrooms in Oakland County Park.
Yes.
It just really is, it's been a pet peeve of mine for many years since my kids were little and they're in their late 30s now, so.
You go to the park
Yeah.
and you just not going to the
What
bathroom.
an Oakland County surveys show, it's one of the, gets the highest ratings on our surveys, is Oakland County does bathrooms right. People like our public restrooms, so awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, not to belabor it, because you guys have a meeting at 2.
Yeah.
If there's no other discussion or questions, let's prompt the vote. I'm really happy to see Royal Oak Township get some love. I really am.
Thank you.
That housing development that's going in is gonna be so cool. 28 brand new homes?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
There's some,
Commissioner
but
Paul.
overall, it's a great thing.
You have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, motion carries. That's good. Now we're on to 11C, which I tried to do earlier, but. Grant acceptance for the Michigan DNR Trust Fund and approval of the agreement for purchase and sale for Turtle Woods Nature Preserve acquisition. This is moved by Commissioner Smith Charles.
My part.
Erickson Gall.
Yeah.
It's supported by Commissioner Taylor. All right.
Commissioner Erickson Galt could lead this one if she would like.
Oh, I'm so ready.
It's really a landmark acquisition that we've been working on since 2021.
And it's gonna have a bathroom, right?
And it's going to have a
Part of the
bathroom, yes. So this is the grant, the legislature took a while to authorize the funds, it's 71.17 acres. $2.175 million, the trust fund grant. We look forward to that appropriation coming through here with this resolution passage. Six Rivers Land Conservancy is currently holding the title, and thanks to cooperation with the Troy Schools and the Land Conservancy, we are here today and excited to get work on creating access to this park. And it'll be a flagship in the city of Troy for Oakland County Parks.
First Oakland County Parks presence in Troy, so.
That's awesome.
And they'll get off my back about where their tax money is coming back to
Look at
support.
that beautiful Turtle Woods now.
Promises made, promises kept.
Commissioner Woodward.
I know we purchased some additional property in proximity for parking, is that
Yes.
accurate? Is that, where are we in that, have we just been waiting until this transaction was completed and then we'll figure out what we do with that?
Yeah, that funding was included in this trust fund grant.
Oh.
So as soon as those dollars come through, then we can secure the deed.
All right, wonderful.
It currently has a home on it, so.
Oh, yeah, that's the one with the
A little bit
home,
of a
that's what I was
demo.
thinking. It's not the church, it's a
And
house one now, right?
Plan is to build like a modest parking lot, and it's described as big enough for a school bus to turn around.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And then a restroom. And otherwise-
Restroom, there you go.
They listen, how quickly?
But then
That was quick.
the park itself will remain mostly natural with just upgrades to the
Yes.
walking trails.
Yeah.
And so that'll be a very nature preserve. Great. That Commissioner Erickson Galt can walk to.
Nice.
Excited.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All right. Well, then let's go ahead and prompt the vote.
It's Congress, part of Congress, but they have their own government. They go double tax. Double tax now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry.
Yes, 7808.
All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
And that's it for our regular agenda. Next up, we have our second public comment. And I thought you still here. Patient of you to sit through all our meetings today.
Not in winter now, this one I only have one,
All right,
so once a year I have
please
two.
state your name and where you live, and then,
It's a lie.
finish the start.
My name is Margaret Gupta, I'm with Oakland Township. This is regarding how the Oakland County has been using the Zoom hearing platform as an instrument to control the case record, control the case outcomes, control the case proceedings, and even the transcripts, which prevent you from going to future proceedings. I would like to say this has been a very insightful meeting. The financial part of it is really interesting. Most specifically, the Chief Court Business Operations, Chris Bujek, stated very, very clearly, and you can go back and look at the video. She says, anytime we select a product, we check and review security. We go over the requirements around security. We do an extensive review. They have security practices in place. What does that tell me? That tells me Oakland County didn't know about this. The way that it is structured from the state court administrative offices down here to the county level, in all counties in Michigan, is that the county's taking the fall for it. They knew that the Zoom hearing platform had no securities. It didn't have the tools, it didn't have the product to preserve court records. I've asked Oakland County Court Administrator Kevin Offner, who's now retired, and his name is on the judge's conference room. He falsified documents. He impersonated Pam Monville's email. They all said, no, nothing here, there's no records that we can give you, right? He was supposed to investigate. All he said is, we're changing the time on your first Zoom hearing. I'm like, that's not right, because the judge's statements of the arbitrator altering the emails to an invalid date, big deal, Ms. Gupta. I said, it is a big deal. Let me explain why. That 5-minute conversation was removed from the May 25th, 2022 Zoom hearing. I proved it because I compared the audio end time to the video end time, and there was a 5-minute difference, and all the statements were missing. I don't think Oakland County knew. And you guys have two ways of doing it, right? Because there's gonna be lawsuits. You can either say, hey, we didn't know, we realized that we were set up, and it was because of Scale's fraudulent misrepresentations. Scale violated Supreme Court rules to get this implemented. Then they went turn around and said, hey, you know what, if it doesn't work, we'll return it back to where it is. Not at all. I've climbed every door's been closed the same exact way. Sorry, case closed, nothing. And I said, and then part of it is all the false statements that were made about Zoom security. You guys didn't know that. And all I'm asking is to do an investigation. Identify the court officers, identify how they did it. Because they didn't do it once, they did it 5 times. It's an abuse of power. If Oakland County wants to look at the truth, I've got the transcripts. Either you do that or you say you do know and then you fall into a class action suit or you get complicit with the courts. That's the whole part. You guys provide the infrastructure, you provide the finances. The judiciary is providing the authority, they're abusing their power and authority to cover it up. So thank you for your time, guys. I hope, I just
Thanks
want
for
somebody to
waiting.
listen. I don't want Oakland County to have the black eye. I want Oakland County to say, this is ridiculous. And the IT department was great here. I mean, security. Oh, what about the Zoom? Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ms. Gupta. All right, is there anybody else for public comment, here or online? Seeing no one, I will close public comment. Is there any other business to come before the Finance Committee?
That would be a long one.
Seeing none, I will call this meeting adjourned.